Hello students, Mr. Sims presents State Math, State Exam Multiple Choice Review, number, and I know it says number 6, but really this is number 7. When I copied these over, I never changed that number. So this is Math Review number 7. We've got 2 more of these to go through. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. Number 1, based on the data, which statement is true about the speeds of the motors after the sign was installed? So here's before, here's after. What you notice is that a couple of these outliers, as they're referred to, aren't there anymore. So it has something to do probably with it being lower. So the mean speed and the range speed motorist decreased. Well, there's your answer. The average speed will decrease, and the range, because you don't have the range here is from 20 to 35. This is from 20 to 40. Right. Number 2, a number n is multiplied by negative 5/8. The product is negative 0.4. So watch this. Here, negative 5/8 times n equals negative 0.4. All right, so let's invoke strategy number 2 about getting answers that don't make sense. A negative times a what would have to give me a negative? A negative times a positive, which means it cannot be the negative choices. So I'll move this up. Sorry, you can't see. All right. Because if you have a negative number, you multiply it times a negative number, you're going to get a positive. So get rid of the negative. So now you have a fraction, you have a decimal. My answer is in decimal form or fraction form, which means that I need to convert this to a fraction. So 0.4 is the same as 4/10, which is really the same as 5/2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this equation. So I have 5/8 n, and notice I'm going to take the negatives out. And the reason I'm taking out the negatives right now is because I already know my answer is positive. So I don't want to have to worry about negatives anymore. So now, in order to undo multiplication, we have to divide by 5/8. Divide by 5/8. So what I'm really doing is I'm taking 2/5 divided by 5/8. But I would have to keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. So I really have 2/5 times 8/5. Multiply across the top. No canceling. So we get 16/25. Answer D. Number 3, what is the value of h? Perimeter is 10.5 centimeters. Okay. And take away the 1.7. That leaves me with 8.8. And we have 4 sides, 4 h's equals 8.8. So divide by 4. You should get 2.2. All right. Very good. Which survey method, the best representative sample? It has to be random. Principal wants to determine which type of speaker students prefer to invite to an assembly. Students prefer. So I'm going to get rid of A because more than just students are at them all. Students on student council, that's very specific. It's not very random. Every 10th student walking into the building, 1 student morning. Number 5, we've seen this problem quite a few times when we did probability. Probability number will land on 3 and the spinner will stop on blue. So the probability of a 3 times, and it's independent of each other, so and means multiply in probability. So probability it lands on 3, there's 1 3 out of 4. Probability it lands on blue is 1 out of 3. Multiply across the top 1, multiply across the bottom 12. The answer is A. Company, total cash. What is the equation? Proportional relationship. It's in the form y equals kx. So the first thing you gotta do is you get 10 lunches, so it's $74.50 divided by 10. Well, dividing by 10 is easy. It gets down to $7.45. By doing that alone, you now eliminate this choice and this choice. Yep. Right. So really what it comes down to is recognizing this form, because now the answer becomes A. Number 7, you have to do the subtraction on top first, so we get 2/3 minus 5/6, but we got to make common denominator. So 6, so this would be 4/6 minus 5/6, which is negative 1/6. So we have to multiply this by 2 to get 2 times 2 is 4. So we get 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So now I have negative 1/6 divided by 3/4. I know immediately that a negative divided by a positive is equal to a negative answer, so I can eliminate my positive choices here. So now I just do keep, change, flip, so I get 1, 6. Notice, once I've determined the sign, I don't have to worry about the signs anymore in the problem, so now I can just do the math. 4 over 3, so this becomes 4 over 18, which reduces to 2/9, choice A. Most likely to occur. So it's got to be greater than a 50% chance. Okay. Okay. This is a 50% chance. Choosing a marble out of the bag, 9 blue, red marble, and being red. So the probability of a red would be 1 out of 10, so that's not likely. Rolling a fair number cube, and it landing on a number less than 6. A number less than 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that would be a 5 out of 6. That's pretty likely. All right, spinning spinner. Landing on a number that's greater than 1 would be 3 out of 4. Actually, before I jumped to conclusions on that one, I actually answered that one before I looked at this one, which is not something you really want to do. But you do have 3/4, which is about 75%, and you have 5/6, which is like 81%. So C does work out that way. All right, and we are moving right along. What is the greatest number of crates that can be loaded onto the trailer? So you have to really work backwards of this. The greatest amount of weight is 1,050, but there's already an 82 kilogram crate, so we need to subtract that off of there. So we have 1050 minus 82. So that leaves us with 968 pounds that we have left, or actually not pounds, kilograms. So then we would divide it by 40 to figure out how many 40 kilograms we can get in there. So 96 divided by 40 would be 24.2. So the greatest amount, you can't go over 1,050. So it would have to be 24. All right, so actually if you rounded it, you would have ended up with the correct answer. Okay. Value of expression. Well, here's this one. They're all negative. So there's really nothing we can do as far as getting rid of choices. But what we do have to do is, because these are all in fraction form, we need to make this a fraction. So 35 over 100. Right. So really this is 8/15 divided by 35 over 100. Keep, change, flip. We get 8 over 15 times 100 over 35. We've got some simplifying that we can do. 5 goes in here 3 times, goes in here 20 times. 5. So then I've got, oh, okay. 8 times 20 would be 160, and then 3 times 35 would be 105. Oh, there's another 5. I was going to say there's got to be something that can come out a little bit more here. So I can take a 5 out of this one. So let's do this, because this number's really, really big. So 5 goes in here 4 times, goes in there 7 times. Ah, that's better. So now I got 8 times 4, which is 32, and I got 3 times 7, which is 21. So I just basically just thought out loud on how I worked through that problem, which is actually pretty good for you guys to see, I think, in some cases. All right, number 11, probably one of the more difficult problems here. But here's one like this. I know, see how I got 2 negative choices, 2 positive choices, so I know this is negative, and I know this is negative, so I know my answer is positive, so get rid of those. All right. Because I want the answer in decimal form, it might be more beneficial to do 3.5 minus 9.75 divided by negative 2.5. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 9.75 and subtract 3.5. 0 there would be 5 to 6.25. So I get negative 6.25. Actually, I don't even need to worry about the signs because I've already done that. Divided by 2.5. So 6.25 divided by 2.5. Move 1. Decimal up here. So I know it's going to be 2 because obviously that's what I have. So I have 2, this would be 50 with 125 left over. And 25 into 125 would be 5, so the answer would be D. That's a tough problem without a calculator. Right, but it's a lot of that decimal stuff. Number 12 actually is with a calculator. So consider this as the double negative is really 4 plus 7. and it could be in either order because addition is commutative, so the answer is A. And then number 13, last one. Which statement describes elevator's rate of change during this 15-second interval? Okay. Starts at 0. 90 feet below. I'm going to draw a picture of this. And this is really the first time I've looked at this problem, so you're actually going to get to hear my entire thought process. So I'm starting 90 feet below. After 15 seconds, it is now at 20. What is the rate of change? Well, it went up. Okay. Right. So that means that I can get rid of these two choices because it went up, not down. So then I have to take the difference. Like, how much did it go up? It went up 70. So now I have to take 70, and I have to divide it by 15. Okay. So 7 would be 4, which would be 60 with 10 left over, and my answer would be B. Okay. So, for multiple choice review number 7, this is Mr. Sims signing off.